Welcome back to DC-Cember, as we continue with our list of the top 12 Superman actors. With me today is cosplayer Michael Burns and director of the movie Superman World War, Don Callahan. Now we'll be heading over to the Snyderverse.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
You know how with Superman Returns, people said that they liked Brandon Routh's portrayal, but they feel like it was just the same thing from before? Why don't we see something new and different Superman? Well, we got that with Henry Cavill, but initially some fans were like, too different, go back to classics. So, makes you wonder, do fans really know what they want?
And I can see where, with Henry Cavill, his version of Superman was darker and a little bit more gloomier. However, he still brought the essence of Superman that I saw, and, you know, he kind of had a little bit more grounded on that level. But even too, like when you put it with Brendan Routh's Superman, who was a little bit more uppity, a little bit, well, you know, you kind of try to compare the two fruits, the oranges and apples, and you know, it's like, wow, it almost becomes a preference per se. So I think everybody has a different taste of what they like, and you kind of deal with the modern day fans, and then you got the older fans that have grown up and seen more of the classics, and you have to see where in the middle do these two line up. But I think with Henry Cavill, I could see even be playing more of a classic Superman. In fact, I think from reading an article, he was definitely more in favor of Josh Whedon's version, which I wasn't, because the way that things went down. But if it were like, if he were to translate to, you know, a more classic look and, you know, storyline, I think he would have done just as much justice as, you know, he would have done with Zack Snyder's version.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Curtis is still my favorite, but I like Henry Cavill because I've always said to myself, why isn't Superman actually a buff dude? Why can't they get an actor that has the physicality of a comic book hero? And they did it. Hell, he trained like 3 or 4 hours a day to get in super shape, cape shape as I call it, and he pulled it out. And then, of course, when he delivers his lines, he was very clear and concise. That's probably him being English upbringing, but still, he's not cornbread like me.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it.
He can deliver the lines and make you feel that he's a power to be dealt with, but yet he's still humble. And I hate the fact that they got rid of him. I feel like they shafted him. If it were me, I'd be pissed if I were Henry, but that's just me, because he gave up one job. He was going back to do The Witcher. They're like, hey, we're going to bring you back to Superman. He's like, okay, well, let me go ahead and quit this other job. He quit the other job. And they're like, oh, we're going to let you be Superman no more. So I think he got the shaft on that, but that's just my opinion. As far as him portraying Superman, fantastic work. Loved it. I mean, mind you, the whole Martha thing I could have done without, but him portraying that character, he was on point. When he stood up and he just broke the handcuffs in the one scene, I was like, yeah, he wouldn't even struggle with that. Why even bother?
Yeah, he's just like paperweight. It's like,
You let them handcuff you?
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted.
His costume design was different. I didn't mind it. Mind you, I would have rather seen some red trunks on him, but I'm more traditional. But when it came to his costume, it was unique to him. It was a little darker. They do put a little bit of padding in his costume, but it's only to accentuate the muscle, because when you wear spandex, it pushes your muscles in and you can't really see the definitions of it. But he knocked it up apart. So he was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was surprised he got to number 2 here, because I figured initially he was very divisive among fans, because some fans were like not crazy about like this darker take, but I say partially because people really want him back as Superman, which I totally agree with, because in some ways I can see his take kind of work in a more modern sense, like where he wants to help people, it just he can't help it. Even when his dad told him not to do so, at least not until he was ready, or at least he could find a way around it.
right.
Yeah, I would have fan. And also, I don't think that Clark would have sat there and just let his dad get swooped up by a tornado. But for real sakes, do not hide up under an overpass when a tornado's coming. Don't do that. That's false. Worst thing you can do. I live in Tornado Alley. I'll tell you right now, that will swoop your ass right up. Do not get up under an overpass, okay? Don't do that. I was like, okay, I get what you're saying, but the suction will just pull your ass right out. But anyway,
Oh, gravitational pull. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could have done that super quick and no one really noticed. You could just, like, you know, walked behind the crowd and just swoop around or something quickly.
he's as fast as the Flash. He could have and got him and brought him over there. They would never know. His daddy's
Yeah.
like, no, come on.
Yeah.
Like
Plus-
that was a cop out, you know. Like he wanted to prove a point or something. It takes away the whole, you know, him having a heart attack, and then Christopher Reeve or Jeff East at the time of that point in the movie, he's like, "Oh, this things I can do all those powers, and I couldn't even save him." That is more something like, you know, to prove that he's Superman, but he still can't save everybody. Regardless, yeah, with Henry Cavill, I do agree. Physically, he fits the character, and then his embodiment of the idea of the character really suits so well. I just wish, again, that they didn't get rid of him as he was just about ready to come back to doing it, and already kind of getting a glimpse at the end credit of Black Adam's like, oh my god, yes, finally we get to see the true Superman that we've been hoping for. And then James Gunn is like, nope, sorry.
Oh, I was ecstatic at the end of Black Adam. I was ecstatic. I was like cheering and yelling, I hooping and hollering.
Yeah,
Probably.
same here. Yeah.
Crazy person in the back. And then they just like, let's take that happiness away from you. Let's put that over here. You don't get to have that no more.
How can you just do that?
I think it was hard for pretty much everyone. I can't think of any people who was happy with that decision because, like, yeah, as you said, he really brought the physicality to the role because I think he's one of the few actors that got in shape for it. I mean, I would say every other actor before did some kind of workout regimen, but as you said, because of the type of fabric and the costume, it really made them look relatively smaller in comparison.
You had trainers that come in. I want to say it was 300 guys. Jim Jones, I think, is the gym they go to. When it comes to those trainers, they get those guys in top shape.
Yeah, plus, I wasn't crazy about how this one was willing to kill, at least in Man of Steel, and almost, I guess you could say, with Steppenwolf and Justice League, but it showed that this Superman has difficult choices to make, and if he has to do it, then he will do it.
He didn't want to twist Zod's neck, but he did it because Zod said, I'll never stop. I'll keep doing this, and twisted him like a chicken.
It was shocking, but you knew, like, after he snapped his neck, he felt that because that's the last of his kind, really. Just to see him kill his own kind like that, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
True, even though, like, when they were fighting, they were destroying more of the city than was already done with the world engine. So I'm like, Superman would have taken that fight elsewhere, but maybe like a more experienced Superman, not like first day on the job.
You think about Superman 2. What did he do when they all showed up, the three villains, to the Daily Planet? He flew away, and he made them follow him somewhere else to fight. That's what he should have done, but yeah, he tore that city up. Henry tore that city up.
Or like, oh god.
Let's say for this portrayal of Superman, this really showcased he can be a very godlike being to people, and I like the fact that even though Superman doesn't smile much in these movies, it really showcases the struggle he has to deal with of how he's viewed by the public, where he doesn't want to be viewed as like a menace or a godlike being. Just a simple guy, just wanting to do the right thing.
How do we know you won't one day act against America's interests?
I grew up in Kansas, General. About as American as it gets.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and be sure to tune in for tomorrow's episode, as we'll be going through the list one day at a time till Christmas Eve. In the meantime, check out last year's DC-Cember playlist and other content on this channel. This is BD Knight, signing out.